I can't even believe that I did something on my own that has actually like been good for my health and that is measurable. So I got a DEXA bone mineral density scan. They call it a DEXA scan. And I probably got it something like 5 years ago for the first time. And already I had osteopenia at that time. And then 2 years later, I got a scan and it had shown that I had 22% degradation in my right hip, something like 11% in my left hip, and then my lumbar spine was bad as well. So then I was told to go on Fosamax. I declined doing that. I was meeting with the medical doctor, the naturopath, who had me on a couple calcium type things, but I've been very inconsistent with that. But what I've been really consistent with is working out. And I've been going to the gym like, I don't know, 2 to 5 days a week, probably 2 to 4 days a week. And I've been trying to lift weights as much as I can. So sometimes I run or do the treadmill as well to get some more cardio. But I've been doing weights consistently, like upper body and lower body. And I never spend more than an hour there. And I just got a bone mineral density scan again today. And it shows that my osteoporosis, I have a 4.8% increase in the bone mineral density in my lumbar spine. It's not a lot, 4%, almost 5%, 4% in the left proximal femur and 8% in the right proximal femur. And I am like ecstatic. I can't even believe that I was able to do that. I mean, I haven't been working on it for 2 years. I have been working on it for a year though. And actually, like, I wasn't really even due to get another scan until August, but the doctor, I don't know, okayed it for me to get it now as March. So I'm a little bit early, but this is so encouraging. I mean, I just feel like in some ways I've had so much discouragement since cancer. I mean, I'm here, I'm living. Obviously, that's amazing. Quality of life has been compromised in so many ways, mostly from getting my ovaries out, I think, but also from cancer and the cancer treatment. I have a chronic ITP condition. I have osteoporosis. I always forget what my other issues are. Oh, now I have high cholesterol and propensity for cardiovascular disease. And just like now that's happening more and more. And who even knows, like, from getting radiation, what those long-term effects are going to be like in this area and on my heart. I think that's already impacting my heart. And but anyway, I'm just like, I can't even believe it. I've done something that is like measurable. I told the doctor, he's like, have you been taking the Fosamax? And I said, no, I have not. And I said, I really am trying to do this on my own. So I'm thrilled. Like now I'm trying to, because of the high cholesterol, I'm trying to cut back on, I'm trying to do Mediterranean diet. And there was a point where even on my channel, I've talked about eating an all meat diet. I do think that that's probably good for a lot of things. Like it's good for, it's good for autoimmune disorders. And I've really been trying to work on this like low platelet problem that I've had now for 4 years or 5 years. And I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to resolve it, but now I'm switching it up again and I'm mostly going off meat. Not entirely. It was St. Patrick's Day yesterday. We had corned beef. I had lamb stew and but I am trying to eat as much Mediterranean as I can. But I have been trying to work out, one, to be healthy. I've also been trying to run, which has resulted in like pretty intense hip pain. And when I spoke to the endocrinologist a couple of weeks ago, he said that that should not be related to the osteoporosis. And of course, that's what I was blaming it on. But he said, you shouldn't feel that. That's probably osteoarthritis or bursitis. So I had the bone DEXA scan, which I'm really surprised. I mean, it took him like an hour to get the results posted in my chart. But now I feel even more motivated and more inspired to keep lifting weights because I understand, like, one, we just lose muscle. The amount of muscle that we lose as we get older, we have to fight against that as it is. But having this, like, being prone to fractures, I know that lifting weights is really good. But the thing, if you don't know, you have to lift heavy weights. You can't just like do little 5-pound dumbbells. Like that's not going to do it. They have to be Like, I think I'm up to 15 on, which is not crazy, but it's a lot more than 5 or 2, which I think I see a lot of people and they're hardly lifting any weights. And I also learned that you have to do like really like squats, like something that really uses your whole body. And I've just been working on, what do you call it? Like lengthening, like weightlifting, which I'm pretty sure squats are one of those things. But I've mostly been working on the machines at the gym, which is fine. And I think that's really good for beginners, which I'm still a beginner. I consider myself to be. And then you can go to some more dynamic working out after that. But I still want to lose 10 pounds. I think I have easily 10 pounds of excess, body fat. I think if you calculate the body fat percent, my height and my weight, I think my body fat must be around 25%. I would like to get it lower. It might be a little bit lower, but not by much. I would love it to get a lot lower without losing too much weight, because having weight is also a good thing, a little bit of weight, not being like super thin. Especially as we get older and the bones are more prone to fracture and become more frail. So I'm just like, I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. I can't wait to talk to that doctor again. I think I talked to him in a couple of months. He's the endocrinologist. He hasn't been that helpful, honestly, really, but he's ordered tests for me, and I think he's done like lipid panel, collagen, cholesterol. I can't remember if he did all of those, but I do really appreciate that. He'll do vitamin D tests, and so I take advantage of that. And I think I said before I was going to lie to him and be like, oh yeah, I'm taking the Fosamax, but I couldn't. I'm not a good liar anyway, but I just needed to like come clean and tell him I didn't take the Fosamax, and now I'm not going to. So it won't be for another 2 years until I can get that test again. Well, 2.5 years probably. But I'm just really ecstatic. I didn't increase calcium, and I know that there's controversy about that. So you should do your own research about that and find out if you think that's a good idea. Because I know that can cause other problems if you do too much calcium. So I swear, I feel like I have to have like, a minor degree in health for the last almost 7 years, just to be okay and just to be healthy, try to be my most healthy self, try to keep cancer away, try to prevent further deterioration in my bones, trying to deal with the fact that I have no hormones. Like, I'm going to get a Dutch test probably again sometime, hopefully in the next 6 months or so, and I'll see what my hormones are actually doing, but they've been like literally in the tank. But I've been taking some phytoestrogens and a little bit of compounded testosterone. So I think it does help a little bit. It's nothing like hormone replacement therapy, which I never get to do. I never get to have that experience of having normalized hormones. And I hate that. It's terrible. It's so hard. It is so hard. I tell people, please don't get your ovaries out unless you have to. Please don't do it. It's horrible. But just trying to keep up with all these things and then getting old on top of it. Fine. Okay. Getting old, but like all the other things that come with it. So it's a challenge, and it takes rigor, and it also takes letting go. There is a part of just kind of like, I lost 2 of my best friend and a really good friend in the last couple of years to cancer, both in their 40s. And just like, it's not in our hands. We can only do what we can do. But I really like to be informed. I really want to know as much as I can so that I can make the best choice for myself, because nobody else is going to. Like, all of these doctors are specialists, they know about this. And even if they know about that, they can't speak to that. They can speak to this. And I feel like I constantly have to like marry information from this doctor and this doctor and this doctor. And I have a terrible primary care physician. So that person I would think could be like, the team coach, and so to speak, and kind of like looking out for me overall and helping me make these decisions. But believe me, that person is not helping me in that way. So I'm doing my best to try to get as much information as I can. I love going on YouTube and searching things up and trying to learn that way. I love going on the Facebook groups. Facebook, if you're on Facebook, the groups in Facebook are so useful. If you can find a group that has, a decent number of people, if there's only like a couple hundred people, there's probably not a lot of information, but some of them have thousands and thousands of members, and you can ask a question in there and you could get 50 responses or 30 responses, and you're hearing firsthand from people what it was like for them. So I find them to be so invaluable, and I always tell people, please use the Facebook groups. Go ask questions in there. I think Quora is another place that you can find a lot of good information. It's quora.com. You can ask a question, and then you can ask certain types of qualified people to answer. And a lot of them do, or you can just search things up and see what questions have been asked. But anyway, I love the Facebook groups. I try my hardest to be able to make the most informed decision about what's happening as I can. And I don't just automatically say yes to the drugs they want to put us on, you know. I was just talking to a nurse today from the hospital, and we were saying how unfortunate it is that there's people out there who are stage 0 and stage 1 of having cancer, which of course nobody wants cancer. Nobody wants any stage of cancer. But some people, stage 0, stage 1, they've cured themselves, or they've done something that seems like this miracle, and they're out there promoting it and touting like, oh, look, I cured my cancer. And a lot of people don't have that same kind of access, or some people are stage 3 and stage 4, and what might work for them is not the same as what's going to work for someone who's stage 0, stage 1. Stage 2 is kind of like 2 and 3 are kind of on the line, but 0 and 1 verse 4 is markedly different. It's massively different place to be in your life. And I feel like when people don't say what the situation was, like, I'm stage 0, I'm stage 1, I did XYZ thing, and now I'm cancer free, it's really unfair. So I am really grateful for everything I've learned. I want to continue learning. I'm trying to learn, of course, about myself, but I want to help other people learn for themselves, because we should know, we should be informed, we should make decisions that are the best for us. There's such a one-size-fits-all model out there, and it's just no good. It's no good. So I know some people are okay with that, but a lot of us aren't. A lot of us want to try natural things. So I really believe in complementary therapy. Sometimes you got to take the medicine. Sometimes you need the drugs. And unfortunately, we only have what we have. Like, chemo practically kills you. Radiation, I think, is going to probably be gone. I think they're going to do away with certain types of radiation because of the long-term damage. Like, years ago, people didn't even live long enough to even know what the long-term outcomes were of certain things like radiation. And now people are living longer, and a lot of shitty things are coming from radiation. And the technologist asked me today, the radiation technician said, like, would you have done anything different? And I said, I would not have done radiation. Like, I was so on the fence. If I go back and look at my videos, I was so on the fence with doing radiation. And I did it because 2 people that I care about said, just do it. And I think, they had different kinds of cancer. One had lymphoma and one had cancer in his thigh, and they did radiation. And I think the trauma that my heart has endured from radiation was just not worth it. And I know you want to throw the book at cancer and do whatever you possibly can, but I'm not so sure about radiation over the heart. I really wish I would have been a little more thoughtful about that, even though I deliberated on that for so long. That's the only regret I have. But at the same time, I know that because I threw everything I could at cancer and now I'm cancer free, 2 of my best friends are not. They're both dead, Neither of them tried chemo. One of them did at the very end, but it was too little too late. So anyway, I just keep making these videos, I think, for my own peace of mind. I like having a chronology for myself, and I really just wanted to share my excitement about this because sometimes it just seems like a lot of bad news, and if you can take matters in your own hands and not have to go on drugs, that to me is the best possible outcome. So thanks for listening. If anyone ever has questions or thoughts or comments or anything, please share them with me. I really do. I read all the comments, at least the ones I get notified about, and I really appreciate anybody taking the time to listen and gather information. And I hope you will be well and make good choices for yourself and not necessarily listen to what's being given to you as the only option, because sometimes there are options. And just be informed and be well. Take care.